How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
For those of you guys that are new to the channel, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Larica.
And this is Retired Road Tripping.
Yes.
We wanted to bring you this special real-time video because we just hit 1 year full-time RVing on the road.
1 year. Can you believe it?
It's been an amazing year.
Yeah.
So what we want to do today is just kind of go over what's been going on for the last year, some different things that we've been doing, some changes to Retired Road Tripping, some plans for the future, and some exciting news that we have to share with everybody. And then obviously we're going to answer all of your questions.
Yeah.
A lot of the questions were similar, so we're going to kind of combine a few of them into the same, but you know, we're going to have a lot of fun here. Don't mind the laptop sitting right here. It's got all of our questions and everything listed down there.
It's got to try to keep us on track.
Yes, we do. All right, so first thing that everybody always wants to know, and kind of the first thing as far as what's going on with us in Retired Road Tripping, Chris and Diane update. If you guys remember back to 6 months ago when we did our 6-month anniversary video, we talked about the different things that were happening. People were asking how come we don't see them in the video and everything else. If you haven't seen that video, we'll link it up top. They are no longer part of Retired Road Tripping.
Like Kevin said, if you watched our prior videos, they really are not in the majority of them, mainly just due to personal, like we covered. Yeah. We actually have been traveling basically up until our year.
Yes.
And we have just decided that in the future, we're going to go our own ways. Mm-hmm. They have some different plans with their family. We have different plans going on with our family, and different roads opening up for each of us. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's just kind of life. Yeah. And that's what we've discovered with RVing. It's just life. It's where our paths are taking us, and there's nothing wrong with either one.
Yeah,
so
it was a fun year. It was an amazing year.
Yeah, we still are great friends. We have made so many fun memories together.
Their plans right now are to do more RVing with their family. You know, we're going to move on from there. So, you know, it's just us from here on out. Okay, so obviously we did not have a new video last week. And the reason why is when Larica and I started this lifestyle, we promised ourselves, we promised our families that we were not going to miss the big things. In the family, you know, just due to our traveling and if we were somewhere else here and there. So last week we actually flew back to Arizona for our nephew's high school graduation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then about 4 days after that, we wound up flying straight to the Salt Lake City area for our niece's high school graduation. And then the whole family was up there, so we wound up spending, you know, some extra time up in the Salt Lake area, enjoying family time and everything else. And again, that's one of those things that we didn't do any filming other than the pictures of the graduation. And we just enjoyed a nice couple weeks, no YouTubing, and just family time.
And I think sometimes that's like the sacred ground that we need away from videoing. It's just our time. And so we're going to be selfish and take it. So at the first stop was Arizona.
Yeah.
It was a good visit. We had so many other things going on, and we had 5 days to get them done. So we had doctor, dentist, and then very sadly, we had to say goodbye to one of our dogs. So it was, we knew it was coming. Hayden, our youngest son, gives us updates on the dogs. We've showed you both of them before, and I am very close to my dogs. It was extremely hard for me to leave them. I was their person. And especially with Kenobi, because he was a rescue, he had a few, insecurities, I would say. He was
some issues.
He was an amazing dog, but he had some triggers due to his abuser. And anyway, he had been going a little bit downhill. And so Hayden had told us, and we came home and evaluated him and actually got some second opinions. And, you know, we just didn't want him to be in pain anymore. We made that hard decision to say goodbye. And it was very hard on our family. We took care of him and we were with him to the end. And I'm thankful for that. And so he was an amazing dog and he will be so missed. I don't know. I guess that's it. You know, our dogs are our family. So, well, first and foremost, our logo has changed.
Our logo has changed.
Which we actually did a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that, we met up with some people obviously this past loop. We did not have stickers for them because we were getting them made,
Yes.
and we couldn't pick them up until May. The new logo has been done for a while, but we were waiting until we had the stickers and all of that good stuff to share that with you.
Here's our new sticker and our new logo.
Yeah.
Just some subtle changes. I know we already changed it once from with the RVs to not the RVs, and then just in looking at getting new stickers made and possibly getting some shirts and t-shirts made, we just had too many minute details in there. It just wasn't working.
We needed it to be cleaner.
Yes, and a little bit more colorful and brighter.
Well, who wanted it colorful and brighter?
Yes, you did.
Me.
So we changed the logo yet again, and this is going to be the logo for for the future. For those of you guys that are unaware, the mountain is now a real mountain, and this is the Superstition Mountains. From back in Arizona, near and dear to our heart.
Yep.
It's where we did our first shakedown trip to Lost Dutchman, which is at the base of the Superstitions. And our RV park that we spend our whole winter at is at the base of the Superstition Mountains.
Yeah.
So Superstitions really are near and dear to us.
They are.
So we do have new stickers for when we run into you.
If you have an old sticker, please let us know and we'll send you a new one.
Yeah.
It would be our pleasure to send you a new one.
Absolutely.
So, and because we want to keep you guys updated. So.
Yes. Larique and I do have some exciting things coming up in our lives. We have a grandbaby coming.
Yes.
More specifically, we have a granddaughter coming.
Yes, we do. So before we left on this loop in January, our oldest son and his girlfriend let us know that they were expecting.
Let's look, honey. Oh,
It is a girl.
It is? Oh, in 20, when?
July.
Oh, you guys.
Not only were they expecting a little girl. And so, I don't know, some of you may have caught it. We tried to really catch, we've had the sonogram on our refrigerator since January.
Yeah.
And I was like, we may have, I know in a couple videos we caught it.
We covered
and
it.
we covered it. But I feel like it may have been out there.
Yeah.
And so some of you that investigate, I don't know if any of you do, but you may have seen it on our refrigerator. But yes, we have little Violet coming in July. So we, once our son alerts that Brittany has gone into labor, we will make our way back to Arizona to see our new granddaughter and spend some time with them.
Yep. Yes.
We are so excited for them and so excited to be, to have a granddaughter on the way. So exciting news. Yeah.
What a blessing.
Yeah, it is such a blessing. So the other fantastic thing that we have going on, is our youngest son. See, we get one from each.
Yeah.
Our youngest son and his girlfriend, Kenzie.
She's not a girlfriend anymore.
No, they got engaged. So now his fiance, Kenzie,
Yes.
they are getting married, and we are so excited.
Yes.
Right?
So we're riding our bikes around this RV park, and like Larique said, Hayden had told us that he was going to be proposing sometime during that month. I think this was April. Sometime during April, he was going to propose. This was getting near the end of April. So my phone rings one night, and it's Kenzie, and she's FaceTiming us. And I grabbed the phone, and I looked at it, and I looked at Larique, and I said, either he broke his other arm, or he finally asked her. We answered the phone, he finally asked her, and it was amazing. So, yeah, we're very excited for them.
Very excited.
Wedding's not for a couple more years, but a lot of planning coming up, so we're looking forward to all that.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fantastic. We've got lots of fun, big family things coming our way, lots of joy, lots of blessings.
Yes.
So.
Our kids mean the world to us, and we love the girlfriends, and can't wait to see what the future holds for all of them.
Yes.
Q&A time.
Yeah, let's get to it, right?
All right.
This is why they tuned in, not to hear all of that.
How do you like having a YouTube channel and a following?
It's a good question.
It is. Actually, I love having a YouTube channel. Since I retired, it's actually a great hobby for me. I've always enjoyed pictures and video. Larique used to coach volleyball, and I used to make all of our end-of-season videos. I did both of our kids' graduation videos and recruiting videos when they were trying to go to college to play ball. So I've always loved this kind of stuff, and I do feel that it helps. If this helps other people, starting their RV life adventure, Because I know when we started, we didn't even know this full-time RV life existed until we started looking on YouTube and started seeing, all the big ones, the originals, the KYDs, changing lanes, things like that. That's when we realized, hey, people live in this thing full-time, and let's look into it. So other people's videos helped us come to the decisions that we've made, and we're just hoping that we can be a small part doing that for somebody else. And then the other thing is just, we've gotten to meet some amazing people in RV land because of the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I agree.
So many of the other YouTubers out there we've become friends with, and it's just a nice community, and and honestly, it's a great jumping off point, because we have our sign on the front of the RV, so people will come up and they'll look at it and they may start talking to us, and that just kind of opens the doors, to communicate and meet new people in the RV park. So I think it's great.
I must be honest with you. When we started, I was not super on board with the YouTube channel. I didn't really want to be recorded, and I didn't want to put my life out there for people. I'm a pretty private person. I like more of the one-on-one communication. So putting our life out there in our travels scared me quite a bit. Like, I just was not comfortable. But I wanted to kind of lean into something that Kevin could be, have as a hobby. And I wanted to document it for our friends and family. Right. So that was my biggest draw.
Yes.
And then I will say, once you start doing it, you kind of just don't care about all of those little things that you think you're going to care about, because that's not what's important. I love that we have documented everything. Yes. And what I always tell people when I meet them, if they ask about it, I just think, like, if I had video of what my grandparents did back, at any point in their life, and I'd have like this video, like this diary of everything that they did on the road or these adventures, I would have loved that.
Yes.
So I think of my grandbabies often as far as documenting goes, that this will always be there. And I'm a big promoter of, I want it to organically come.
Yes.
I'm not about the fluff. I'm not about making it this like TV show or anything like that. It's no offense to anybody that does that route. I don't even know if there's people that do it that route. Yeah. For me, though, I want it to be organically real and just documenting our life, because that's what it is for us. Yeah. And so I'm okay with the YouTube channel now.
Yeah. All right, kind of goes along with that one. How much time do you spend uploading your channel, socials, editing, responding to comments? Honestly, it depends. I know a lot of other YouTube channels out there that you watch, they all talk about having work days and certain days of the week and certain hours. They treat YouTube like a job, and they don't do anything. This is my YouTube day. I don't do that. I don't have a job. I am retired. YouTube was never, ever going to be a job for us.
No.
I do the YouTube. I do everything I need to do, kind of in my spare time. Sitting in the living room, watching TV, put the game on, editing some videos here and there, updating some of the social medias and the pictures and everything else. That's how I do it. I was a police officer for 30 years. I don't do well sitting behind a desk for 8 hours a day. That's why I was a police officer for 30 years. When I had those work days in the office, it drove me crazy. So that's just not me. I do it when we have time. Some days I'll get more done than others. Sometimes, like if it's a rainy day outside, I'll spend more time doing it. But if it's a beautiful day out, we'll, maybe an hour here, an hour there, and that's pretty much it. I think
you primarily do it at night.
Yeah.
When we're like unwinding, if he's watching something. Or morning coffee.
And that's it.
You're very good about being just, I think because you genuinely enjoy it.
Yes.
You just kind of pour yourself into it when you want to, so it doesn't become like a task or something that's, I have to get this out, like pressure. I think you just are very good at maintaining your time and doing it enough to where things get done because you want that. And not feeling the stress of it, which I love. Because if it became stressful, I would be like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So.
What is your favorite area of the country so far? What place is your favorite? I'll let Larika go first.
These ones are so hard because if you know me, and I've said this to people that I've met, I've said this to family members, friends, I am the type of personality that I just find, I am so happy to be doing this that everywhere we go, I'm just like, oh, I love it. Or I find what's amazing out there. Or it's just amazing to me. Yeah. I find the joy wherever we're at. I will say, gosh, it's so hard because each place has its own beauty to offer you. And we have just done some amazing things. But I really loved Oregon because I love the trees, and I loved how tall and how mossy and how, what was the word I used? Enchanting it looked in Oregon. But then I had my beach because I love the beach. And I loved the beauty that bounced off of each other with those two things going on. However, I loved the Tetons.
Yeah.
I loved Custer. It's just so hard. There were so many amazing things we do. And I said this before. We did them at a certain time of year. I'm always curious what they're going to look like at other times of year.
So far, my favorite place that we visited is the Custer, South Dakota area.
And it's just a beautiful,
Yeah.
like, you take all of the attractions and the big touristy things away.
Right.
It's a beautiful state.
Oh, yeah. What is the ideal amount of time to spend at each location?
That's a great question.
Yes. It depends on you. Depends on what you want to
does.
do. It depends on how you like to RV. We like minimum of a week, ideally a couple of weeks
I
at
don't
a
even like
location.
a week, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Because
Minimum, yeah.
we have a hard time even with a week because
Yeah.
we've had some week. I would say our minimum is probably 2 weeks. And here's the thing with RV. There is nothing wrong with doing it a few days or doing it
Yeah.
weeks or months at a time. I think it's just important to know what you like and what
Right.
makes you thrive. And you may not know that when you first start.
Right.
Like when you first get out there,
Oh,
you're
we were-
just, and you're revved up because you're ready to go
Yeah.
and see things. But sometimes you can go through things too fast.
Yeah.
And so for us, because we are living full time and we are just soaking in everything that we do, and we've got really nowhere to be unless a family thing happens,
Mhm.
we like the longer stays.
Yeah.
Financially, it's better.
Yeah.
You get rates on weekly and monthly.
Mhm.
And it allows you to slow down.
Yeah.
And enjoy where you're at.
Yeah.
And so we kind of give that to ourselves. It's kind of like a little gift versus if you're staying, less time. And I understand people have things and they want to keep moving. And we've said this so many times, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just how we roll. I would say anywhere from 2 weeks to a month is what we
Right.
prefer to stay.
Yeah. How long did it take to adjust to RV life? That's kind of a loaded question for us. Our first 3 months, we were in family vacation mode.
Yeah, we saw a lot of family.
A lot of family, a lot of friends for like the first, we left the end of May and through the end of August. We were with friends up in Happy Jack. We were with Casey and Becky for a month up in Happy
Yeah.
Jack. And then we had 2 other sets of friends that were on vacation. They came by and they visited us and hung out. Then California, we had 2 weeks with my parents at our timeshare. Our children showed up for a week. And then her brother.
We kind of set off on our journey with training wheels on.
Yes.
And then gradually took them off, right?
Exactly.
But even once we had the family and friends separate, we still had Chris and Diane with us.
Right.
So we had like some familiarity
Yeah.
of not being completely alone.
I would say probably at the 4 to 5 month mark, probably about 2 months after we left the family in Utah, which would have put us to around Yellowstone area, somewhere around there. I think that's when it kind of really hit. Okay, this is life. This is how we live now and everything else. So I would probably say 4 to 5 months total. We had that 3 months at the beginning. So maybe a month or two of us just being with us.
I think adjusting to the RV life was pretty doable for us. Like we said, the biggest thing was like missing family, missing that routine. As far as like really feeling like it for me, like I always felt fine in our rig and on our moves and all that. But when we went home for the holidays, which I know is way far off.
Yeah.
But when you go back to your home state and you're not going and living in a house, you're staying in your rig and you're still doing those Christmases and Thanksgivings and the things that you did when you lived in your sticks and bricks, you're like, oh yeah, I really am in my RV full time. Like this is it. And not that it took me that long to feel that, but it was like a big, like I'm living in my RV. And
Talk about what about RV life met your expectations, what exceeded your expectations, what fell short. Oh my goodness. I think everything we've been discussing so far, you can kind of see the answer to that. As far as meeting and exceeding our expectations, I don't think I knew how much I was going to love it until I did. It's weird because I did. I completely fell in love with this lifestyle. Like I said, we've gone home a couple times. We've stayed at my parents' house. We've stayed at her brother's house. We've stayed in hotels and things like that for some different events. And I can't wait to get back here. This is home. And I didn't realize how fast I was going to realize this is home and this is where I would rather be than sleeping in a hotel or sleeping at a family's house or anything like that. And then just everything else we've been talking about. Everything about this life is just completely exceeded expectations. How much we would love it and how much we enjoy traveling and everything else.
I agree. I think that we went into it very excited. There's always some sort of worry because what if I don't like it? And there are people that don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like, having to pack up all the time and do, or they don't like the adventure or whatever it may be. You're missing the family too much. Like we honor all of that because, everybody's experience is different in RV life. I think for you and I, the common denominator is and I've said this before, we had fears, of course. We sold everything. We sold our house, and people thought we were crazy. But the number one common ground for Kevin and I was we both talked about it a lot. We did a lot of research, and we wanted the same things. Yeah. So when Kevin retired, it was about growing old with my best friend. Yeah. And what was going to promote that life for us. Yeah. And so it has exceeded by far our expectations. I think that's one of the reasons every place we go is a treasure because we're getting to do something that so many people have no clue is even out there. We don't have to do the hustle bustle of work anymore. We've been so blessed. Kevin's career was amazing. I feel like we're at this time in our lives where we did it. Like we raised our kids. I don't know. It's like where you're supposed to come back, connect with. It's the Jordan Davis song, if you guys don't know. Yeah. But anyway,
next thing. Okay, you can't just leave that hanging there.
I know.
Jordan Davis, country star, has a song, Next Thing You Know, and he just sings about all the different stages of life.
The seasons in life, and it's just I don't know. I think when you honor that, later in your life, it doesn't mean it's not scary. Change is hard. But I think the number one thing with Kevin and I was communication and being on the same page. And I would say that to anybody.
Give us an update on how the truck and fifth wheel are performing. Truck's great. Love my truck. 2022 Ford F350 dually. It's my first diesel truck and my first dually, so I really don't have anything to compare it to, but I can't be happier. I couldn't be happier with it.
It's a beast.
It is.
It just pulls that 18,000 like nothing.
We get about 11 miles a gallon towing, flat ground, which is really good. I was hearing horror stories about 7, 8, 9, so the fact that we're getting 11, apparently that's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy for it. As far as the RV is concerned, we love our RV.
Yes.
But it's an RV. Things break, things fall apart, and I'm always putting screws back in the wall and rehanging things. And you guys all, if you own an RV, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're completely happy with it. Completely happy with our setup.
Yeah.
Ever consider a smaller towable or perhaps a motorized RV? Not right now.
Yeah, we have considered it maybe down the road, going smaller. Right now, I wouldn't even think of trading any of it. I love our rig and I love our truck.
Love our home. It's home.
We love our home. I love our setup. And so I think we discuss it maybe as we get older or we're not moving as much, maybe doing something smaller. It just depends, but I don't even know if we would. I love the fifth wheel. I love what it has to offer. It just feels like home. Yes. And so that to me is important. And so as of now, no.
How to handle mail? What address do you use? Over domicile? We had several questions all in that same category. Like Larica said, we left our rental, and it was in our son's name as well, and he kept it for a year. So that's our address. And that's our legal address. We didn't change anything about it. We're not going to change domicile addresses to different states and what have you.
Not at this point.
Our son FaceTimes us, once a week or so. Goes through the mail, shows us the envelopes. If there's something that needs to be sent to us, he throws it in the FedEx and he mails it to wherever we're at.
We don't get much mail. Most of what we do is online.
Yeah.
So we are not really getting a whole lot of mail.
Yeah.
Which kind of works out. But when we do, it goes to our son.
Yeah.
And
he takes care of it, ships it to us. So that's kind of how we do it. I know there's a lot of plans and programs out there. Right now, it's just not for us. How much clothes and shoes do you have in your RV? We start full-time soon, and what's baffling me now is I have so many shoes, and I like to have clothing options. Yeah, this is a girl problem.
Well, here's the thing. Our rig is a 2022. It has a very sizable closet, and then we have another closet because we opted out of the washer dryer. So I will tell you, I was worried about the shoes. I think in our first video I talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And the clothes. I got rid of a lot of shoes only because they were like work related. I needed to have shoes to go with outfits and whatnot. And so I got rid of all that stuff. I would still say though, for an RVer, I have a lot of clothes and shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You hear about people that RV that have like 3 pairs of shoes or 5 pairs, no. Yeah. I have cowboy boots. I have like fuzzy boots that keep my feet warm. Actually, I have 2 pair because I have black and I have tan.
Yeah.
I have easily 5 or 6 pairs of sandals. And then I have some like dressier shoes in case I need them on the road. I have some booties, but those I'm going to put into storage because we're usually in Arizona in the winter.
Yeah.
No, I have a lot of shoes and I have a lot of clothes. I am, however, very good at rotating clothes.
Yes.
So I think the thing with the clothing is like you spend a lot of time in shorts, t-shirts. There's not a whole lot to dress up for, right? So I have like that stuff underneath. Like I have some spring dresses and stuff like that if I needed it for certain occasions that I keep underneath. And I flop my winter and summer clothes.
Right.
We do get t-shirts of traveling. I am a fan of getting t-shirts. Like I have my Key West t-shirt that I love. Yeah. And it was like $4 in the Keys. Yes. And I love it because it's green. But like I will usually get rid of another t-shirt. I don't pay a lot for my t-shirts. So when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. And I'll get rid of them. And in comes another. I spend most of my time in leggings, t-shirts, and shorts. Okay. And I rotate through them. But I would say I have quite a few shirts. I just try to balance that out, so I'm not like, here's all my clothes and let me put all these shirts of where we're going in here as well. Or if I'm at a place and I find a shirt I like. So, but I don't, for me, it depends on the size rig you get. Because some rigs, especially if they're older, do not have a lot of space. Yeah. So you have to do what works for you. We are blessed. We have a pretty good sized closet. Yeah. And we do okay there. Like I have not felt limited in my shoes. But I think the thing when you get out on the road, I'm like you. I like to have options. But when you get out on the road, you'll see that, like, you don't need as many. Yeah. And that's what this whole life kind of does, too. It kind of makes you simplify and minimize, which feels good. So just something to consider. Like, maybe when you go out and you shop for your rig, make sure you have a good-sized closet if that's super important to you.
Yeah, that was one of the things that really got us onto this one, because there was one other model we liked, but in the bedroom, there wasn't a real closet. There were just those little wardrobes on the wall. Yeah. That were like 2 of them that were like this big, so we're like, no.
And I was like, no, realistically, that's not us.
That's not a full-time for as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, because I'm like you. I like options. Yeah. So, good luck. That's so exciting. You're going to be going full-time.
Yeah.
So.
We've gotten several questions about income. What do we do to supplement our income, budget, and everything else?
It's very popular on the YouTube to do your whole budget, right?
We didn't do it.
We thought about it. I am just, again, private person. I am not big on putting our personal finances out there.
Honestly, we've never really done an official RV budget because this first year, like we've mentioned several times, this has been one big retirement vacation for us. We did a lot of stuff this year that probably isn't the norm. We did a lot of extras, a lot of vacation time, a lot of family time. And we probably spent more this year than we will spend in the future. So starting this year with an RV budget, we were just kind of like, we're not going to deal with it. We know how much money we can spend. We know how much money we have. And this first year, we've just literally been enjoying life. And I hate to say it, but not really thought about it too much. The next year or two, we'll start cranking down and and thinking about it a little bit more. But we wanted to enjoy this first year. We really did.
I also just think budgets vary.
Yes.
With people, and everybody likes to spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. So it was just another reason we chose not to do a budget video, because I think it's just, I mean, I know it helps people, but it's just not really our thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I should be giving anybody advice on budgeting based off of how we budget or what we choose to spend our money on. So that's just personally where we stand. And so that's why we've never done one.
Yeah. Is what do we do to supplement our income? I'm blessed enough that I have a full pension from the police department. I get paid every month pretty much what I was making base salary at work as far as take-home salary. So my salary really hasn't changed, other than the fact that now they pay me not to show up every day. And as far as supplementing our income, we don't have any other jobs.
No.
With the exception that, we don't make anything from YouTube. We have not made a dime off of YouTube yet. So we're not even supplementing our income with YouTube. Maybe someday down the road if we start getting paid from that, I don't know. But as of right now, 1 year into it, we have made exactly $0 on YouTube.
And we don't care. We didn't set out to make money. We're retired for a reason.
We don't need to, and like I said, I'm blessed to have a pension from the PD that will pay me forever. So we're okay. What was the biggest challenge on the road? I think just getting used to that routine. And by that, I mean, you have a routine for travel days. You get to where your location. I have my responsibilities. Larika has her responsibilities. And not getting in the middle of each other's. Because right at the beginning, I do remember that, I would go outside and do the tearing down, and Larika was doing her thing, and I would come inside and see something and automatically want to start touching it. And she's like, Kevin, that's mine. Don't leave it alone. I have a routine. Same thing with outside. Don't come outside and, start saying, oh, I want me to help you with this, you want me to help you with that. Because those you guys that are in RV land, and they've done this, don't get in the middle of somebody else's routine, because, that's when mistakes happen. You hook the hose up to the wrong valve, or you don't do something right and everything else. I think that was the biggest challenge, is just finding our routine for ourselves, between parking and setting up and everything else, and then just trusting each other, that I trust Larika's doing her job, she trusts that I'm doing mine, and just kind of rolling from there.
I think getting to know your rig and what makes each other work with your rig, because it's all new and it's so much information at the beginning. And then obviously the very biggest challenge on the road, I think, is being away from family. Yeah. So, and we both have very large families, big Italian families that, we celebrate everything. Yeah. We celebrate everything. And so, yes, missing family, missing out on those times. I think this year was the first year we did Easter not with family, and that was definitely different. So, but we're also in a day and age where modern technology is huge, and we have the advantage of that. And so we take advantage of that when we can.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the happiest moment on the road? I have to honestly say, probably my happiest moment was getting to our first RV site the day we went full-time last year. Our first day of full-time RV life, we checked in, got the RV parked, got it all set up, stood back and looked at it, and we looked at each other and we're like, this is life. And it was a pretty happy moment. It really was.
I think for me, it's getting to those places that we've talked about forever and we've dreamed about, and then like taking a big breath and saying, this is what we worked for, we dreamed about, we are blessed to be doing, and not taking those for granted. So I just feel like you're going to have bad days on the road. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't change everything. There was a channel we watched that said, don't get into an RV and expect your whole life to change. What you did in your sticks and bricks and how you maintained and what, that's what's going to happen when you go and you live in an RV. It doesn't change the way you live. I think it's just more about being refreshed and opening your eyes to what this beautiful country has to offer. And so going into everything wide-eyed and just like looking at it from a child's perspective, you can, I think for me, I was just blown away by God's beauty, and especially in a world that doesn't really suggest that there's a whole lot of beauty anymore. just seeing those treasures. And every time we go somewhere new that I've been waiting to go to, just taking that breath of air and saying, you know, wow, this is what we waited for. Has this lifestyle change strengthened your marriage? So that's the big talk. Like, how can you live with somebody for 24/7 in this small space? You know, you got to really love them. You got to really like them. True, you are in a small space. Even though ours is big, it is still small compared to a sticks and brick. It has absolutely strengthened our marriage. So we have no option but to grow together. Otherwise, this falls apart.
Yeah.
And it stems from the very beginning when we sat down and had the discussion about selling our home and living full-time in an RV and traveling the country. It's about being on the same page, and we can disagree, and we'll talk about that, like our disagreements and stuff. But it's ultimately, we are a team. Mm-hmm. And I think for us, we've always been a team in our marriage. Even when things are hard, you just got to do the hard work. Right. And so we make it a point. We've had bad days on the road where I'm just like, okay, I need to go take a walk, or you know, he'll say, what is going on? I'm like, I need a break. Yeah, and I feel like I'm probably the moodier one than you are. He's pretty even-keeled. But anywho's, you just kind of have to be, I think, always have open communication. But it has definitely strengthened our marriage because we get to grow old together with each other, and that's what we ultimately wanted after retirement. Like, you work so hard, you raise your kids. You know, you lose a sense of your marriage when you're in those kid raising years and the working and the grinding. And so when you retire and you get to come back together, at first it is a little weird because everything slows down really fast. And in America, we're all about go, go, go. But the slowing down has been amazing. We've been able to enjoy things together and take in things that we would have never been able to do if we were just living in our sticks and bricks and retired. So yes, it has strengthened our marriage.
All right. Last question. If you were just starting out again, would you keep your same make and model RV, or would you change it, and why? I don't think this is a fair question, only because we have a 2022 Van Lee Beacon. 6 months after delivery, and we picked it up, Tiffin, who owns Van Lee, stopped making Van Lee Beacons. They stopped making the Van Lee fifth wheel line. They completely discontinued their fifth wheel line. If we had to do it again, would I buy this RV knowing it was going to be discontinued? I'm going to probably say no.
Right.
What would I get? I haven't the foggiest idea.
Yeah.
Because like Larika said, when we found this, I fell in love with this pretty quick. And then if you guys watched our videos from like a year ago, actually starting all this, once we found this RV, we kept looking for the better part of a year, trying to find something we liked better. Mm-hmm. Basically, talk me out of getting this. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, Tiffin is great. I've called him on several occasions, warranty work, some different things. Tiffin is still completely taking care of all the family owners, and that's awesome. We visited Tiffin when we were in Mississippi. We had the tour. We met Bob Tiffin, but I still don't know if I would buy something knowingly that it's going to be discontinued. Those were all the questions we had. If you didn't hear your question word for word, we might have morphed it into another question, but these are all the questions that we received on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hopefully we answered those for you. If there is something that you want to know, go ahead and leave it in the comment, because we can definitely answer you flat out there. We thank you guys for giving us questions. And as always, we are so honored that you watch our channel, that you follow our journey. It is very humbling, and we are so grateful for our YouTube community.
Yes. Yep. And if you haven't yet, do us a favor. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell so you'll always be notified of new videos coming out. And next week, our video coming out is all about 1,000 Trails Orlando. Everybody talks about TTO. We stayed there for a week, and we're going to give you our opinion. Is TTO really worth the hype? We'll see you next week, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.